You're watching BCTV. We're all about Brantford. You're watching BCTV, Brantford Government Television, a service of Brantford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Brantford.
I guess it's fun. The parade's only here a few years. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. The RTM will be convened on Wednesday, October 9th, 2019 at 8 p.m. at the Brantford Fire Headquarters, 45 North Main Street, to consider and act upon the following matters. Will everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item number 1, roll call.
Representative Edelman. Representative Alphone.
Here.
Representative Anderson.
Here.
Representative Austin. Representative Black.
Here.
Representative Brockett here. Representative Conklin.
Here.
Representative Dunbar. Representative Erlinger. Representative Flanagan's here. Representative Greenberg. Representative Healy.
Here.
Representative Henschel.
Here.
Representative Ingraham.
Here.
Representative Jackson. Representative Leonard.
Here.
Representative Lombardi.
Here.
Representative Preet.
Here.
Representative Riccio.
Here.
Representative Sumro.
Here.
Representative Stepanik. Representative Sullivan.
Here.
Representative Torelli.
Present.
Representative Trow.
Here.
Representative Toohill.
Here.
Representative Kelly. Representative Wells.
Here.
Representative Sember.
Here.
And ex officio, we have First Selectman Cosgrove and Town Clerk Hartman. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, approval of the minutes of the previous meetings. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meetings?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved without exception. Item number 3, reception of communications, reports of committees, and citizens' petitions. I have a few here. Shut the door. Yeah, there. This is a good and blessed year today. Yom Kippur to our Jewish friends, especially Lindsay Greenberg, are celebrating with her family this evening. Columbus Day Parade is in Brantford this year, and it's going to be Sunday, October 13th. Kickoff is at 1:30 p.m., starting from Lincoln Street, traveling down Main Street to Brantford High School. The next announcement is Tuesday, November 5th is Election Day. Municipal elections are to be held. One note of change, First District voters will cast their ballots back at their regular home of the Community House on Church Street. If you voted at the high school the last year, you are now at the Community House. Notices have been sent from the Register of Voters this week. Next 2 letters I have are from Wayne Cook, and I'll just point out that I am going to read them, even though he didn't adhere to the guidelines of 48 hours before the RTM meeting. This letter is from Wayne Cook to me, Dennis Flanagan, the moderator. At the although current RTM members weren't sent a packet of information regarding the Atlantic Wire demolition debris, given this is your last meeting of the electoral cycle, the submission of further materials will be postponed until you meet in November. Please be advised, however, that as the facts clearly indicate, both the moderator's categorical dismissal of this matter at your last meeting and the First Selectman's assurance to the body that this site is closely monitored and safe both remain unfounded and irresponsible. Another letter from Wayne Cook to address to me, the moderator. Given this is your last meeting of the electoral cycle, the submission of further materials regarding the RTM's need to review town legal bills will be postponed until you meet in November. Please be advised, however, the moderator's categorical dismissal of this matter at your last meeting was both evasive and disingenuous and did a disservice to the taxpayers of Brantford. And that's all I have. Yes.
may just take a moment to address one of the concerns that was mentioned in the letter regarding the Atlantic Wire project, which they came before this body last month and the month before to address. As I stated at that time, I had reached out to our local health department as well as our building official at the time of demolition to review the process that was taking place, which they had done, and that's what I had stated to this body. I had then, prior to your last meeting, hearing from some citizens that had raised some questions, checked to ensure that the testing and the submittals were filed, which was done. Since your last meeting, I've had a conversation with the executive director of the East Shore Health District to review. Obviously, initially we were looking at the demolition process and all the requirements. I had stated at that time that it's a highly regulated process. In this site in particular, because it is a transfer site, DEP plays a role, primary role in overseeing that process, which they then also bring in a licensed environmental professional to oversee the process. In my conversation with the health district, who had also had conversations with Connecticut DEP, as well as the Connecticut Department of Health, to review the filings that had been submitted, the testing, the phase 1, the phase 2, the phase 3, as well as all follow-up submittals, testing results, and all paperwork that they have received, reviewed the site. It was their conclusion that the public, there is no imminent danger to the public health. I think that's important to note, for not only from the process through the demolition, but where the site sits now. This is coming from a conversation I had with, once again, with our health district, who had extensive conversations with the Connecticut Department of Health, as well as DEEP. I know Mike Pasasulo has also had conversations with Representative Trow, Representative Conklin, regarding such facts. So I think if something I didn't represent accurately from your conversations, please feel free to add to it, but this was a conversation I had. So thank you.
Thank you. You don't have anything, right? I don't have anything. Okay, go. She wants to say it.
Mr. Moderator, I just had one thing that I'd like to add, that I believe we should be getting a statement from the Department of Public Health. The expectation is that we will be getting a formal statement from them. So all of this work, I hope, will really go to allay any concerns that the public may have about the public health aspects of this current site.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You have nothing else, right? Okay, item number 4, to review and if appropriate, propose changes to Chapter 189 of the Branford Town Code, specifically regarding trash collection. Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Item number 4 relates to noise regarding overnight trash collection specifically. The matter had been heard at several R&O meetings, including the September meeting on September 17th. At that meeting, the committee voted to take no action. That vote was unanimous, and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Motion on the floor to take no action on this item. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. The no action vote is valid. Item number 5, to review Branford's Town Dock Ordinance and, if appropriate, revise the time limits and rights of appeal. Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Item number 5 was also heard at several consecutive R&O meetings, and again on September 17th, where a unanimous vote approved the changes in the boating ordinance. Relative to enforcement, the idea is to alleviate problems at the town docks in terms of overstays by boaters. That was approved unanimously by the committee, and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Motion on the floor to approve the item. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ordinance passes. Item number 6, to consider if appropriate, create an ordinance regarding tree warden and public tree protection in Branford. Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Item number 6, as you said, is the tree warden ordinance. The ordinance deals with appointing a tree warden in conformity with the state enabling statutes and outlines the authorities of that tree warden. It's a lengthy ordinance. It's been circulated to the body. It was approved unanimously that evening, 5-0 at our September meeting, and I would put that in the form of a motion.
Motion on the floor to approve this ordinance change. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This item passes. Item number 7, to consider and if appropriate, adopt a uniform procedure for ordinance enforcement pursuant to town meeting rules A 236-4-19D. Representative Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Item number 7 dealt with a broad consideration of enforcement across the town code. I had always envisioned it as kind of a lengthy process. At the September meeting, R&O voted to approve it unanimously contingent upon town council review, which is required by the town code. The review has not been completed, so notwithstanding the unanimous committee vote, we cannot vote to approve the ordinance this evening because of the lack of town council review.
So everybody knows that basically this item dies tonight and would have to be brought up next session. Thank you, Jim.
I'll put that in the form of a motion. I'll make a motion in conformance with the moderator's
Right.
statement.
All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Yeah, it needs to be seconded because it's not the committee report.
Who's second?
No, I went for somebody to second.
Second.
I think it was,
I thought Ray already did.
no, he.
Plenty of a second, for
Right.
sure.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item number 8, any other business to come before the RTM? Representative Sullivan.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just have a quick announcement of, I know that the organization Branford Families is actually doing a collection of old ties of these. They have a bin at Ashley's. These are for, to give donations to people that need some clothing and things like that. So there's going to be a container to collect ties, and I see several ties in the room right now, so maybe we can collect some. There's going to be a bin at Ashley's until October 15th. So if you would like to make a donation to help some people out, you could stop by and get some ice cream. Thank you.
Any other business? Representative Hensel?
Yes, as we all know, this is the last meeting of this session of the RTM, and there are two current representatives who will not be going for re-election, Ray Dunbar and John Leonard. I just wanted to thank both of them for their service to the RTM, and in particular, I'd just like to thank John Leonard for his service on the Rules and Ordinance Committee as the chairperson. I think we had an extremely successful 2 years work. We had a lot of interesting things come before us, a lot of great conversation, and I think a lot of good resolutions to the issues. So I want to thank you, John, for your service.
Thank you, John.
Moderator, may I?
Yes, you go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. And thank you, Representative Henschel. It's been a pleasure working with you and all of the members of the committee. It's been an honor to serve, and I certainly have appreciated that opportunity to serve. Thank you.
I, too, would like to thank Representative Dunbar and Representative Leonard for a nice job, but also to thank everybody here on the RTM who faithfully has served us the last 2 years, and to wish everybody luck with the new election. There's no further further business to come before the RTM? Representative Torelli?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Hello, everybody.
This,
Good evening. Where's that at?
Let's vote no, so we can speak.
Okay,
No.
vote that, vote
No to adjourn.
that down.
I'll table it.
actually,
Long pause, long discussion, there's no discussion.
it's not debatable. I just went to.
Good evening. My name is John Waskovich. I live on 45 Jefferson Road in Branford. I see that the town's doing all kinds of storm drain work around town. My concern is Bourbon Drive. The town was there doing patchwork as they're putting in the storm drains. I mean, cutting them out, putting the roller over them, and fix it like that. Today I go by there and you're milling it all up. Was there a waste of money in that project? And if there is, somebody should go to Public Works and find out why all those were done and you're still milling, and it's going to go past the church down there, and it's going to go to Alps Road, I would assume, to repave, refinish. But that money is wasted of paving, doing the work, having the roller out there, a backhoe, 6 men on the job for, I don't know, a month. I don't know if anybody has an answer to it. Now we're milling all that work up. Is there just a confusion at Public Works? If there is, somebody needs to find out. This side or that side, or the gentleman sitting behind me.
Selectman Cosgrove, you'd like to address that?
What they're doing is replacing all the catch basin tops, and if any other structures need rebuilding, they redo that. When you take a top off, it's probably about a 12-inch top. Rather than having, just stone all the way up to the top, which would just have to be dug out, they bring that up with a asphalt, compact it, and lifts. When you mill it, you're taking off probably anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of asphalt to get down. So in the meantime, too, to have that patch, they do it so the water does get into the catch basins, because when they're coming through, it could be a good month. And as you said, they were working out there as well as other roads for a number of months, and Tilcon comes in to pave. So it's not a waste of money. It's actually part of the process, and that's quite common. It's being done.
I'm not trying to say that. The storm drains are one thing. I'm talking about the middle of the road. They cut out, and now that's being milled. All the way down. So all the way down to Alps.
So I guess you're talking about areas where they did.
Somebody from Public Works comes and they take a paint
I'd
can.
be more than happy to meet you out there and go over it. I don't think this is the appropriate.
Oh, I didn't
event,
know. That's why.
But no, I'm more than happy. But once again, when they do, if there's patchwork that needs to be done, yes, they'll cut that out, remove the bad asphalt, put it down, so, because the asphalt is a couple layers of asphalt. So what you're doing then is bringing up the binder, the top coat, and then you mill that down. You're just taking off the top course, and then you overlay that with a new wearing course. So without knowing the exact location, some of these too, if this was, you mentioned Public Works and the catch basin tops, that's why I talked about that. Some of these, there were some utility work that happened there, there's some over by the park particular. There was some other work down further, which there's, the utility companies then hire a company to come in, and they're responsible to do that patch all the way up. That's part of their responsibility. So it's not a waste. You don't want multiple joints. You try to do a mill out, a nice even layer, and have them come in and lay it down. So I'd be more than happy to meet you out there, but I don't
There's
think...
still confusion of what you're saying and what I've seen, because I live there.
All right, sir, why don't you, sir,
Public Works out there doing the work in the
Sir.
middle of the road.
sir, why don't you, if you have any
Yeah, I'd be more
further
than happy to
discussion,
sit,
why don't you
because
meet with the first selectman? This is
Well,
not-
it's already milled up. You can't.
Well, it's not a forum for us right now.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, what I'll do is I'll show you how far down that
I
patch
know what
goes.
milling is, but I
Okay.
know them putting down.
There was a
the,
motion, there's a second to adjourn. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Brantford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BrantfordTV.org.